Over the next 2 years, Watergate became a titanic struggle between the White House and the press.
I don't respect the type of journalism, the shabby journalism that is being practiced.
The White House and Congress.
Republicans do not cover up. Republicans do not go ahead and commit illegal acts.
The White House and the public. And then, in the summer of 1973, the nation learned of the president's secret tapes.
I was aware of listening devices.
When the White House revealed there was an 18-and-a-half-minute gap on one of the Watergate tapes and demonstrated how the president's secretary, Rosemary Woods, might have erased it accidentally, there was an uproar.
Famous picture of Rose Woods, how you'd have to, what you'd have to do to go through to erase the tape and be on the phone or whatever. At the same time was, sort of like the 6-foot stretch.
It was called Rosemary's Boo-Boo. The episode deeply wounded the president's credibility.
Yeah, made it all very dubious. It was the prelude to the smoking gun.
The fierce battle to force the president to hand over the tapes led to Watergate's endgame. When the president decided to fire the special prosecutor, Archibald Cox, rather than release the tapes, the Attorney General, Elliot Richardson, resigned, and his deputy was sacked. It was called the Saturday Night Massacre.
The country tonight is in the midst of what may be the most serious constitutional crisis in its history.
The Supreme Court would finally resolve the issue of the tapes. In the case of the United States versus Richard Nixon, they unanimously ordered the president to hand them over.
Nixon lost political power because he betrayed his office, and people realized that.
And when the contents of the tape showed that the president was involved in the cover-up since the first days after the break-in, it was the smoking gun that no one could defend. Richard Nixon resigned on August 9th, 1974.
I have never been a quitter. To leave office before my term is completed is abhorrent to every instinct in my body. But as president, I must put the interests of America first.
A president who ordered political espionage against his opponents was ultimately undone by the secret recordings he ordered of himself.
As we now know from the tapes, Nixon wanted to, in a sense, run the presidency as an instrument of his personal revenge.
And as those tapes have been released through the years, they have constructed a portrait of his presidency that Richard Nixon could hardly have intended.
He installed the taping system because he really was concerned about how he would look in history's eyes. So he wanted to have the raw materials to construct a heroic portrait of his presidency when it came time to write his memoirs.
And the piece of tape that some think says the most about the Nixon presidency is the one with nothing on it, the 18-and-a-half-minute gap. Who erased the tape, and what was said? Some forensic audio experts believe they may soon have the answers.